In a bustling city, there lived a young woman named Leela. She was known for her radiant smile, but behind it, she carried a heart heavy with loneliness. Despite her efforts to connect, she felt invisible in the crowd, like a note lost in a forgotten song. One rainy evening, Leela was hurrying home from work when she noticed an elderly man struggling to carry a bag of groceries in the downpour. The streets were flooded, and people rushed past without a second glance. Without thinking twice, she hurried to his side and offered help. Together, they walked to his small, worn-out apartment. The man, whose name was Mr. Harris, thanked her with a warm smile. Inside, the apartment was simple yet filled with old photographs and memories of a life once lived with joy and company. Leela could sense the emptiness that mirrored her own. Over a cup of tea, they shared stories. Leela learned that Mr. Harris had lost his wife years ago and had no children to visit him. His days were long, filled with the quiet hum of a radio and the distant sound of the city outside. Before leaving, Leela gave him a small potted plant she had bought earlier, hoping it would bring some life to his lonely apartment. She promised to visit again. As the weeks passed, Leela kept her promise, and a beautiful friendship blossomed. She would bring him homemade meals, listen to his stories, and in return, he taught her about gardening, a passion his late wife had cherished. Slowly, Leela's loneliness faded, replaced by the warmth of human connection. One day, as Leela was leaving after one of their visits, Mr. Harris handed her a small, weathered box. "This belonged to my wife," he said softly. "She believed that the greatest gift we can give is kindness, no matter how small the act. She called it, invisible strings, threads that connect us all, even if we can't see them." Inside the box was a simple silver bracelet, with a single charm shaped like a heart. Leela was moved beyond words, feeling the weight of the gesture and the love it symbolized. Years passed, and as Leela's life grew richer with friendships and purpose, she always wore that bracelet as a reminder. She volunteered at shelters, organized community events, and continued to visit Mr. Harris, who became like family. The real magic, though, was that Leela's kindness began to spread in unseen ways. The people she helped went on to help others, creating a ripple effect in the city, a web of invisible strings that connected strangers through acts of compassion. One evening, as Leela walked through the city streets, she noticed a young girl helping an elderly woman across the road. The girl wore a familiar smile, one that reminded Leela of her younger self. In that moment, she realized the power of invisible strings, how one small act of kindness could change the world in ways she never imagined. Moral: kindness is the invisible thread that connects us all. Even the smallest act of compassion can create a ripple that changes lives, reminding us that we are never truly alone in the world.